not be too active, but I interact with what you're doing on daily basis. You may not know that I have a lot of connection with your family. There is a senior Mahanu, yourself. There is another Mahanu in the middle. That one we were classmates in NAITIRI High School. I think if I'm not wrong, John ni mwalimu kama mimi. We were in Form 1 West up to Form 4. There was no transiting from West to East. Once you are admitted in West, you stay there until Form 4. NAITIRI had 2 streams, West and East. Let me tell you the difference between the two. East were called government students, and then West were community Harambe students. So me, I was a community student, me and your brother Mahanu, from Form 1 up to Form 4. That was by the way. Allow me to say I am so grateful for this arrangement. Those that have put in a lot of effort to ensure that this day is a success. This is not the first gathering. We have had others before. If I'm not wrong, this could be the 3rd one. Thank you so much to the leaders who we put into office. And this far we say thank you for bringing us to a point like this. Now my seniors are here. I wouldn't wish to say so much. I will share a few things about myself. And the key purpose of this day is to inspire the young minds of this location to know the path we have taken, so that they can appreciate that I thought when I hear about a professor ni kitu ingine inakaa imetoka mbinguni, but we are human beings. We've come to inspire them so that they can appreciate that this journey is a journey they can also take and be successful people. Now in our midst, before I say what I want to say, I want to appreciate a few people. When I was learning, by the way, I learned at Sango Primary School. I was the pioneer. My home is just across. I'm a son to the late Mwalimu Isaac Otuya and Mama Violet Otuya. Both were teachers and they retired. Mzee Otuya was no joke. Akiwa huku nje, he would be such an amazing person because he worked for the community so much. But back home, he was, nasema ni mkoloni wa ajabu, mkoloni wa hali ya juu. But over the time we appreciated. He was that tough. He did no business. Hakujua mambo mengi. His area of emphasis were academics. That time he was a headmaster in Luhuna Primary School, and the powerful schools those days in Tongaren Division was number 1, Tongaren Primary itself. The head teacher was James Wasiki, Mheshimiwa. Then second was Nalu. And then the 3rd was Luhuna Primary School, where my father was. Then all the others, including our schools this side, would now follow. I attempted to follow him in the school where he was. Because you see, national schools were few and very rare. And it is those schools, plus a few across here, that took slots in Alliance, Lenana, Maseno, and the other national schools. So I attempted to follow him, and imagine I was chased. and he decided to demote me from Sirende where I was. He said, if that's the route you want to take, I want to show you. He took me to Sango and said, I want you to go and begin your own school. My friend is the head teacher. Who is that? He's the father to my senior mentor, Patrick Khaemba. So I pioneered Sango under my head teacher, Samuel Khaemba. And after Sango, I went to NAITIRI High School. That's where I met my senior, who had been my senior also in Sirende, and he had gone to NAITIRI together with my late elder brother, Brown. Patrick allowed me to take this opportunity to most sincerely appreciate you. When I went to NAITIRI, I found Patrick, I found Stephen, and then I found Wawire. Those were my people. I was their mono. And under their mentorship, I had no major challenges transiting from O level to A level. And now trouble struck when I went to A level. I have a reason why I'm giving this story, because there is a group of people I want to talk to as I prepare my seniors to come. Trouble struck when I went to do A level. I was sick an entire year. The entire Form 6, sick kusoma. In fact, the idea was not even kusoma, is whether I would survive or whether I would die and get buried. So an entire Form 6 was wasted. But at the end of Form 6, somehow I improved. And I insisted, I want to go to school. Exams have not begun. I want to go and sit for Form 6. For the obvious reason, I didn't transit to university through that exam. And I'm standing here now to speak hope to this kind of people. We have talked about S here. We have talked about B+. We have talked about B, B-, and C+. And a very captivating speech about a cluster that will take you to university straight. We have not talked about the C. We have not talked about the C-. We have not talked about a D+. And as we sit here, I have no idea if there is somebody who scored a C and is seated in this congregation. Acha nione kama kuna mtu alipata C mahali hapa. Kabila yangu, yule hakuenda university direct. Hebu nione kama yuko. Okay. Asante sana. Sasa hawa ni kabila langu. That is a tribe where I belong. For the reasons I have explained, I didn't transit to university through the Form 6 exam. I was unable because there was no adequate preparation. Lakini sasa mimi ndiye huyu. Naitwa Professor Willis Otuya. I went and did diploma in teaching and became a high school teacher, and I taught for several years. But you know what the Bible says? Mimi ni mhubiri. The Bible says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered by God. I taught in high school, in Ngotse and Shikoti. Finally, I ended up at Weko, where I was now teaching communication skills. And Moi came and took over that university. I want to honor one man seated here today. One, Professor Agri Mukasa Simiyu. He came to Weko to found what is known today as MUST. He founded a big school. The school he founded is not education, it was called social science. Faculty of Social Sciences. It was housing several after he retired now as a dean, he had given birth to 2 more schools, School of Business and School of Social Science. Sasa mkimwona hivi, mzee huyu ni mzee wa ajabu. Much earlier after I graduated with a diploma in teaching, the first person to tell me now, Willis, I know your capacity. You should not stop, and you should not have stopped where you are, was Director Patrick Haemba. And he told me now, the route is very liberal. Go to University of Nairobi and take a B.Ed, 6 years. I thought seriously about another 6 years in school. And I told Patrick no. But the person aliyeniweza, the person who managed me, aliyenifinya, akanisukuma kwa ukuta, until even as he retires, he has made a professor out of me, is one man seated here. Professor Agri Mukasa Simiyu. How did he do it? He recruited me. He said, I will not release you to go with TSC. I've seen potential and abilities in you, and I want to retain you. He mounted many courses, right from certificate to PhD. And he told me, I want to recruit you to teach certificate and diploma courses, the ones I have begun. That is how I found myself in MUST. And he gave me a maximum of 4 years to have converted myself into mainstream university teaching, university teaching. And precisely that is what I did. Mzee ametuambia something about PSSP. I took advantage of that. 4 years, went to do masters at Moi, 2 years, proceeded to Maseno, 3 years. I never wasted a single year in between. Within 10 years, I had all the 3 degrees. As a preacher, sasa nimefanya zingine. I have done a master's in theology to support my work as university chaplain, and I've also been doing others. Na bado ninasoma. A reason why I have given this story. We are here to inspire and to speak to every mind in this location. There are those ones, for unfortunate reasons, they are unable to transit to university. Our desire is that everyone should score between an A and a C+, so that they can get direct admission. But that is not practical. That is why even in a school like this, you'll find a handful perhaps have a B+ and A minus, a few C+. But there are so many who have a C-, or they have a C, or they have a D+. We need to speak hope into this mind, so that our location is not only talking to the ones who have excelled and giving no hope, to the ones who can be encouraged to preach and end up where the colleagues have ended up. I'm a professor today in MUST. Ninakaa na wale walipata 18 points in A-level. The one I missed. Ninafanya kazi na wao and go read. Go and find out from students. Hata msiende uliza my professor, my senior, my working. Atakwambia Reverend Otuya is one of the most polished lecturers I ever had when I was a dean. But there are people in the same faculty who had A's all through, and we were teaching together. Acha niwaambie mimi ni mwalimu wa ajabu. Ever since I was a high school teacher in Ingotse, my record is clean. I made mid scores. Hapana za kuiba. Siku hizi ni wizi tu. Ni wizi left right. But particularly siku za yule minister mwingine alitoka. I never did that. I simply made the mean score. So now, you are here. Unfortunately, I don't see such hands, except waze kama mimi. D+, C-, and C. There is hope. Kuna mambo ya TVET yamezungumziwa hapa. TVET takes hata D+. There is a brief course, a short one, and that can act as a bridge to a diploma program. And that diploma can act as a bridge to a degree. Then after undergraduate, you can do a master's. And finally go to do a PhD. And if you join teaching and work hard, you can now become a professor, like Reverend Professor Willis Otuya. I want to give an example of some two colleagues because I want to prepare to bring in my seniors. Among the programs Professor began in MUST was a certificate in business and a certificate in and a diploma in business. And then of course he launched a program called BBM and MBA and of course now PhD. Those are now courses in my faculty which Professor began. But he has so many in his own area, in education and social science. There are two ladies. Currently in MUST today, they are employees of MUST. One is called Dr. Yodo, and the other one is called Purity Mchere. And then now we have so many who have masters. I've picked those two because now they now have PhD. Ayodo works at the council level, organizing council, taking minutes for them, planning their meetings, kufanya kazi ya secretariat. She was employed as to begin with as a casual worker with a D+, then finally converted herself into something. She did a certificate in business. After she completed certificate in business, she was given some clerical job. Then she began to grow. After certificate, she did diploma. In our class, I've taught those two ladies. And after she completed diploma, she came and did our degree. Hatukuwapea because they are our colleagues in employment. No. They worked for them. And after she completed our degree, she went to JKUAT and did a master's. Just to prove that she was not given because she is being taught by colleagues. She now went to be taught by colleagues in another university. And then after JKUAT, she went to University of Nairobi, the top university. And she has cleared her PhD. The other one, Purity Mchere, took that route and she has cleared her PhD. When Professor employed me now finally as an assistant lecturer, I began to do what it takes to move the ladder. And I've sacrificed. It's a sacrificial journey. You deny yourself the comfort of family, the comfort of making money. Because me, I was an entrepreneur. All those things I had to kill them in order to make a mark in the world of academia. Did masters in record time. In the school where I went, the department called IRD in Moi, Professor knows it so well. My program was entrepreneurship, MPhil in entrepreneurship. I was the first person in that program ever it was launched to clear a master's in 2 years, record time 2 years. And when I went to Maseno, I cleared PhD in 3 years. Then began to do what it takes to grow into a professor. Si kazi rahisi, ni kazi ngumu, lakini nimeichapa, nimeiweza. These are my final remarks. there are opportunities to grow the ladder. Kuna njia za kukua, and I want us to go home and encourage the youngest stars, for whatever reason, they have not been able to achieve a C+ that will enable them to transit directly through a cluster to university. If they can manage to go and repeat and take the exam afresh, we can encourage them. But if for the other reason they are unable, COOPS is now placing them and paying their fees. Let us encourage them. That cluster is not only for the graduate student, no. It is also for the ones who will make an entry through certificate, and they can grow and become engineers. Principal Tibet is here. I wish she was given an opportunity just to say hi. At some point, she will tell you she did not admit people who have C+. She admitted D+, C-, and C. And she has grown them. Some of them became colleagues. At degree level, then they came and the government employed them and posted them back to the same institutions. About 3 final points. We have a lot of brain waste because of high dropout from school, the way our MC said. Na hiyo ni kwa sababu ya kukosa mwelekeo. Hawajafunzwa, hawana mtu wa kuwaeleza. Some of them come from highly disadvantaged backgrounds. They have nobody to talk about learning. The examples they see around them are complete failures. Many of them come from homes that brew changa and where drugs are sold. The only business they have interacted with ni biashara ya kuuza changa na kuuza banki. And that is the environment they have come from. We want to speak hope to those kind of people. Nataka tuwatoe huko. As a community, I want us to do a campaign. Let me tell you why God has blessed me. Kisabu watu walibarikiwa, unahesabia Reverend Dan. Nilichukua mtoto kwa hii shule kutoka kwa principal wa Busia. I came after KCPE, nikamwambia nipe mtoto mmoja hapa ambaye amepita, anatoka boma kali. And he gave me one child, no father. Father not known. Mother alimzalia kwao and she passed away. Environment ni changa tupu. Completely. Hakuna kusoma. And I picked that boy. I worked with that boy from Form 1 up to Form 4. After Form 4, I took him to Machakos University. Akafanya BCom kama yangu. Ian is a very successful young man. December anakuja na magari yake kubwa kubwa hapa. Si kwamba anipe, no. You're getting somebody from the streets. He can now support somebody else. I want us to do this kind of campaign so that no one is left behind. You may not be able to pay an entire fees because of lack of capacity, but you can give a word. You can give an encouraging word. There is so much waste in the villages. It's like kusoma kulipangiwa certain homes. Na certain homes, those ones were condemned. That concept, I want us to kill it through this forum. There are opportunities for, literally for everybody. Kila mtu, kuna nafasi to grow from wherever you are. Sema amen, Jamen. Amen. Now finally, I want us to make education compulsory, of course in quotes, because it's already compulsory at the national level. But at the practical and operational level, swali ni hili. Is it really compulsory? Absolutely not. We have parents who just sit with the children. Hata akiona mtoto akienda shule atampiga, atamwambia ni nani atachunga ng'ombe. We must change that kind of mentality. I want us to make education compulsory, literally for every home, and recommend sanctions against parents who want to hold their children katika nyumba. Jambo hilo linaua location kabisa. Let every child access education. Na kama kuna wale wanafunga watoto kwa boma, we can even recommend a rescue center. We sanction those parents. Akae ndani siku 2 siku 3. Kama habadiliki, we rescue. Tumnyang'anye mtoto so that mtoto asome, kukuza location. Nilienda mahali fulani kule Siaya. We went with council. I was asked, chaplain, come. Council is visiting Professor Ogot. Now, being an old man, we want you to do a small service as we say a few things to him. Tukakwenda kwa Professor Bethwell. Jameni, kijiji. Naitiri is not a village. We are talking of 5 professors. Otuya was alone for very many years. And then our professor, my mentor, Mokasa, akamfuata. Tukawa na kina sasa Adu, kina Nandi, kina Sakwa, ingawa amehama sasa ameenda Bukwet. Sisi kina Otuya tukafuata. Nenda kwa kijiji cha Professor Ogot. Kijiji hicho, it's boasting over 50 professors. Posted in the different universities of Kenya. Na wengine wako nje. Wanafundisha Makerere, some are in South Africa, others are in the United States. A small village like Nakoma. Talking of over 50 professors. Somebody said it here that it is possible. NAITIRI location can begin to speak that language. Sema amen. Amen. As I wind up, I came to address a niche because I know the others have spoken to a certain mind, the top cream. Number 1, congratulations, our son. Kongs NAITIRI is the school where I was. Uko katika shule moja kali, shule mzuri sana. Nilikuwa pale nikapita vizuri. I transited to A level. Nikaenda Msile nikawa mgonjwa. So congratulations. Kibabi High School A- Kongs. I saw the other school here B+. We have so many here who are transiting. Please, kana yule mzee awaonyeshe cluster. And by the way, you are told something very good. Why don't you choose most? Medicine here of Nairobi, Kibilia, KU. Those are people who every Kenyan is looking for. So the cluster ends up being so high. They are so competitive. You are now knocked off. And you end up in a course you did not want. So, reduce the risk by looking at what most is looking for. And you get the best brains. Most has poached from Moi, has poached from University of Nairobi. The ones who began medicine in Nairobi are now in most. And the ones who began medicine in Moi are now in most. Watu wa Moi wote, including my professor here, walikuja most, including the founding VC. Walitoka huko. So look at that very, very keenly. Remember that. Now, with those few remarks, allow me to introduce my seniors. And the immediate senior in that order is my own blood brother. And this man inspired me a lot. Unajua hapa kwa Otuya, kwa sababu ya ukoloni wa mzee, yani kulikuwa na maajabu hapa. Akiwa nje unakutana naye na kicheko, and he makes a lot of friends in the village. Wacha aingie kwa boma, anakuita failure, anasema you never achieved what I wanted, anakuita majina, unataka utoroke, unafikiria nitorokee wapi? I must go back and just do it. My most immediate senior is my own blood brother, namfuata hivi. This man, he'll tell you his own story. But he began as a P1. P1 akafundisha shule inaitwa Kubra, akafundisha wapi? Mzee alimsukuma vikali, akatoka. He went back to books, akasoma diploma, akakwenda kusoma degree zote hizo, akamaliza, akaniambia bro, usibaki nyuma. So here comes Professor Robert Otuya. He can now make his remarks before we bring our senior Professor Agri Mukasa.
Thank you, my younger brother. I've spoken through him, so all the things you have heard from him, behind those things was myself. I'm the one, remember, who took a bus up to Methodist University, Meru, and collected the brochures and brought to him so that he reads through those brochures and enrolled for a degree. Allow me also, it's not pride, but allow me, because he has said what went through his hands, and now for me, I also say what has gone through my hands. This sister of mine, Caro here, also is not among the A. Thank you for the A performers. Thank you, they are here. Thank you, my brother, for first class. Thank you for first class. As we didn't go that route, but all in all, I think we are respected for who we are and what we have done. So this young one here also passed through our hands, this Caro, together with this nice lady here. And by the way, what made me to get her, if I had gone to University Direct, I wouldn't have got this good one. It was through this tertiary, through the tertiary that I found that she was ahead of me. She was a little bit ahead of me and finished earlier than me. But even after she had finished and I had prayed and I saw her, I decided to follow her where she was teaching to deliver the word of saying, it's you. Thank you that you accepted. So I went at this one when I was teaching at Kabarak University, and she had done some interviews after she did. No, we picked her first Kitale Technical. Then she did diploma in business administration. Then we said she goes to Kenya Technical Teachers College. So she went there and did diploma in education. And then she was doing interviews. And unfortunately, sorry to say this, unfortunately, they were not taking her. What they say, this is a Mjore girl. But they were forgetting that we have given them. This one we gave to the Bogus. They forgot. And so they were still looking at Amure. So she was not getting any place to teach. And so I told her, no problem, come back to Kabarak. So she again came back there for a degree in education, business and computer education, and sat also in my class. I taught her principles of marketing, yes, taught her principles of marketing, and most like human resource, something management. I made sure that she scored the right one. It was not, could have been conflict of interest, but I am strict as my dad Otuya, so she had to pass in order to be given a grade. And then she continued like that and finished. And then later on, come to this one. So when I gave him the Kenya Methodist things, he took them and he finished. Then he realized I had also moved a little to do higher diploma in technical in entrepreneurship, and then he said he wants to follow the same route, so he went for that master's degree in entrepreneurship. Now for me, I decided to go for a master's in marketing. So that's why I've combined, I said, a professor of entrepreneurship and marketing. Then when I reached a point, I decided, no, now I go back to entrepreneurship. But for sure, I taught in Mount Elgon. My first course was P1. We trained very successfully with Munomuno Mrembe. We were in Asumbi Teachers College with him. So we are here to tell you from small things, something big can come. So we don't really have extraordinary things to say here. No, we are just sharing testimony. Well, we have come here. It is better to share a testimony than to speak from big books. Big books, so and so says this, so and so wrote this, so and so. Let me quote from Mark Weber. Let me quote. Let's just share our testimony. Then it will encourage somebody. So tulikuwa hapa Sylvester Wabusia and Dalila Simiu, mwana wa mzee Jefnea, Jefnea Dalila. We were in Asumbi Teachers College and we remember the traditional dances. Tukienda Kericho, tukienda wapi, tulikuwa tunashinda. Pasina kabisa these traditional dances. And when we finished, I was posted in Mount Elgon. Kubura. From Kubura, you go to Chebiu. You go to Bamboo Forest, then you go to Chebiu. And I stayed there for one term, Kubura. Then my late cousin, Lynette Zoita, organized for a transfer. I was taken to Teremi SA. And while at Teremi SA, one of the parents had gone to Bungoma and bought a newspaper. So as I was going to the market, that's why be careful what you see. Open your eyes wider because opportunities don't come daily. So I saw like this boy from afar, Kwanusu, he was called Kwanusu, carrying a newspaper. And newspapers in Mount Elgon were rare. So I shouted, and because he was my pupil, he ran. And I told him, let me just go through the newspaper. When I went through, I saw Kenya Technical Teachers College have advertised for a 4-year diploma, ya kutoka from 1 mpaka from 4 in technical education. And for me, I was initially in a technical school. So I told him, enda nyumbani and tell your father that mwalimu ameomba hii newspaper nimpelekee kesho asome kitu hapo. And for sure the parent allowed. And that's how my journey of moving started. So I read the advert and I applied. Then I thought for that term, my letter came, and thank you, you encouraged me because I almost got discouraged. Mzee never worked hard to get me see the letter. The letter was calling me for interview in Kenya Technical Teachers College. So when we closed, alikuwa amekaa nayo Israel or wherever. So he came, I read, and I saw the dates have passed. I'm trying to say persist. Don't give up. Persist. Even when things are looking dark, persist. And at that juncture, when I was almost discouraged, he said, that's what he said. That's what he said. I went to Kitale. I had not even known how to use the booth properly. Yo unaweka mashilingi, ile ulikuwa unaweka mashilingi na zinaanguka mingi kabisa. So as they are falling, I'm still asking, hello, say no, KTTC speaking. So somebody picked, I said, I have a letter here, but the interview has gone. I don't know what to do. Can you still prepare something for me? And this person looked at things and said, oh yes, can you come on such day? I said, yes. So he gave me a day. And after giving me a day, he also assisted me. One of the people they schooled with was schooled in KTTC, comes from Ruvuna huko. So he directed me to him. Nikaenda kumtafuta. Yeah, okay. I went to him, hapo karibu Sinai, hapo kuna huko mbele Sinai. Then he directed me how to get to KHTC. Cutting the long story short, of course I went, and the interview was, we just wanted you to appear. We just wanted you to appear, because we have looked at your performance. Iko sawa, ilikuwa sawa. Na so we just wanted to call you to confirm that we have given you a chance, a letter will follow. And then I continued. I don't want now to talk a lot about that, but then I continued and continued. And here I am. When I was doing master's degree, thank God that sometimes we have something similar. I finished earlier, even earlier than time. And they told me, you will not graduate this year, you will wait a little bit for others to finish, I'll have to graduate now. Then now I have to wait for another year and then graduated. I want to thank God because majority of the people here did not score the very A's that are being talked about. So allow us to talk to people. Wale wenye mlipata nyinyi mshapita, mko naendelea, tunawaambia songeni. Songeni because you are ahead. So really we can only guide. We can only guide kama vile waliguide kuangalia mambo ya university hiyo ni which one. For those who are interested in business, mimi niko University of Eldoret, nafunza entrepreneurship na business. So those ones we can talk. So I want to say this, that if you score, because I taught in TVET for 17 years, either 17 or even 18. So the things that the chief principal would have talked, I just want to briefly talk. She will talk another time so that we do not appear to be taking all the time. So she's in me. She's inside me. After all, even for her to become chief principal, I played a role. She was transferred from Kitale Technical to Kaimos, and she was crying. What have they done to me? And then I told her, go to Kaimos. We are going. We went to Kaimos. And then she was again transferred from Kaimos to Vishangala. And she again said, wamenifuata tena. Wananitoa tena hapa. And I'm already comfortable. I told her, come out of the comfort zone. Enda huko Vishangala, tunaenda huko tena. I appeared there. Kidogo tu ile wajue ana mtu yake. Yeah. Yeah. I picked the children and we drove there. Tukapark to punda yetu kidogo pale. Wasije wakaona ati labda ana gari waanze kufikiria aliiba. So me I drove the best of the car that I had. Kasimama hapo. Wajue aliingia Mshangala akiwa na magari. So that akipata ingine kidogo moja wasianze kufikiria aliiba. And then she stuck there. At some point they were supposed also to remove her from Bishangala to Kitale National Polytechnic. Again, it didn't work. Then she almost got discouraged and said, and that's why when she was now thinking that atamalizia tu kwa a certain grade, then all of a sudden she received salary yenye ilikuwa mingi kidogo. Akafikiria, hii ni pesa ya serikali, let me make a call, niwaambie hii pesa wa deduct tu irudi. Then somebody told her, no, that is your money. That's your money. You have actually gotten promotion to chief principal and the letter is on the way. That's how she became chief principal. So ujue mimi behind that niko. After this ukienda nyumbani utengenezee unalikubwa likule sababu unaretire ukijua kuna mkono ya mtu kwa ndani ya hiyo mambo. So Tibet, I want to say even D minus E is not that big. Mimi nasonga chini kidogo. Even E, wacha nianzie E. E, we have what we call competence. Competence, the best, skill best. Even if you get an E, from that E, you can go and do a skill certificate and do this thing we call government trade test. And after doing government trade test, you will be recognized with a certificate, and then you can go, if it's a certificate related to building, you can go to this national construction, whatever, and you get a certificate of even being a foreman. Wewe unasimamia watu wakijenga. I've seen a young man hata primary alimaliza tu primary, secondary akumaliza, amenijengea some houses huko Eldoret, watu wanakaa ndani, napata kasukari. Huyu kijana, he did not even do from 1 to from 4 because the parents did not have money. And one of his uncles, who was even once a PC, did not even bother hata kusaidia huyu kijana. And so he continued, akakuwa fundi wa mkono, baadaye akaanza kupiga ile nini, baadaye akashika kabiro, and then baadaye he got a certificate from this national construction whatever, is a foreman. Saa hizi anasimamia mijengo hata ya ghorofa, anaanzia kwa foundation chini na anaenda nayo mpaka ghorofa. I was invited to attend a graduation ceremony ya kijana anatoka hapa kwetu, anaitwa Mkarama nani huyu Rubeo, mtoto Rubeo was my classmate in primary. Huyu kijana ni plumber. He did a certificate in plumbing. And the boy is earning a living. Ana pikipiki. Kama spare part imekosekana ama kitu ya kutumia kwa plumbing, anakimbia, anakuweka kwa pikipiki, mnakimbia kiminini, mnaleta na mnaingiza plumbing. Is he not earning a living? Yes. Yeah. And he was not an A material. I'm not saying getting A is bad. Occasionally I've also gotten the A's. When I was doing PhD, I did 6 courses and 10 courses. 11 courses. Out of the 11 courses, I got 6 A's and 6 A's and 5 B's. 5 B's. So msifikiria ati spend kupita. Wale hivyo kidogo mjue, ukipata A kama 6 na B 5, ukiaverage nitakuwa nimepata grade gani? Nitakuwa nimepata huyu bwana hesabu ameenda. Huyu ndio atakupatia square root. Sijui kama mliona hesabu ndani yake. Mliona statistics ndani ya huyu mzee? Huyu si mchache. In fact, huyu alimsimamisha tu because aliona labda time amsimamishe tu. So we are preparing for our senior. So don't worry. Tutaleta senior huyo, tunamrecognize, tutamleta pole pole. Sababu sisi mpaka tucheze kwa uwanja kidogo, we prepare the way. Alafu sasa senior akija anamaliza. Yeye asipokuwa na sarakasi mingi kama zetu, don't worry. It is because senior anakuanga pole pole. Sawa? So that's a D minus, a D minus and an E. So an E you can climb that way. A D minus you can do something called craft certificate. Craft certificate. Ukifanya craft certificate, artisan. Craft, artisan certificate. Miaka ngapi? 2. Ukimaliza hiyo artisan course, utaingia course inaitwa craft certificate course. Hiyo itakuchukua miaka 2. Hiyo itakuchukua tena miaka 2 na consult kidogo so that nikikosea asifike nyumbani aseme, I'm sure she's now marking the English. What she's marking is the English. That's why I'm mixing so that I confuse her. Because if I don't mix with other languages, including Kinyore, I will have a very tough something to go through. So namchanganya kidogo. Saa hizi amechanganyika. So you do craft 2 years. Then after you pass craft 2 years, then you now go for diploma. You enroll for diploma. Diploma again, you will do diploma for another 2 years. It's not 3. You will do diploma for another 2 years. And if you get a distinction or a credit in diploma, then you can go. You can go for a degree, and we will put you in year 2. Hautaingia year 1. We will put you in year 2. And ukiingia year 2, then you will proceed like that. Na uendelee kwa university. I also want to tell you, when I was joining Form 1, I was the person with the lowest mark, cut off to ya national. Alafu the day to mzee Kivoli Mark James akaona huyu ni mtoto ya area, hata kama nachukua wengine nimkatie ndani. Akanikatia tu, yani point yangu, I was the leader in Zerende but with 24 points. I was the leading at Zerende. By the way, you people of St. Kizito, senda somela sa Zerende primary yao. I tried Ruguna where people are passing. Mwalimu mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Mbwanga. Nilimuona akipiga watu viboko mpaka nikatoroka kabla haijalifikia. Nikaambia baba, mimi sirudi huko. So nikamalizia tu Zerende. Nikamalizia hapa Zerende. So we were there. Those who have come from Kizito, we were actually there. So take heart. So my James alinipatia cut off na nikaingia form 1. You know, I even feared saying the points I got. James Kinywa, that's 6. Francis Yomo, that's 6. I'm just mentioning my classmates. Francis Yomo, that's 6. Cheke, that's 6. Sijui, another one, 34, 35. Sasa ilikuwa inaishia huko. Otuya has 24. 24. So I sat in that class, first term. Yani nilikuwa tapelekea nini baba, na mmesikia vile wamesema. Vile alikuwa. Tapeleka nini huko? But I said, well, let me put my feet down. Do you know when I did the first exam, nikajikuta I am below 20. Fanya second exam, I am below 10. So you can be sure how I finished. I did automotive engineering as a final career, and the two people who were ahead of me was Francis Yomo and James Kinywa. James Munene Kinywa. And number 3 was Robert Otuya. Francis Yomo alipata point. Yeah, thank you. You can clap kidogo. James Yomo alipata point 18. Alafu Kinywa, Francis Yomo, alafu Kinywa alikuja akapata point 21. Alafu Otuya problematic tu kidogo akapata point 25. So ikakuwa division 2. Hawa wawili akakuwa division 1 na huyu akakuwa division 2. So what I'm trying to say, it's not how you have scored, it is you yourself to determine where you want to go. It is what we call attitude determines altitude. Those who have done geography, your attitude will determine how far you can go. Ukisema Ezekiel ewe fwe mbaho mundu biranga mao bira ifwe ngona sana mna hivyo mama wae mundu kame makombe kaho fukira ukiba bwe makombe nibo nabonanga bakulonda hata during circumcision hakuimba holwimbo sika ukiba kulonda. Ndugu yangu, dada yangu, we are saying the beginning point can be anywhere. It is you to make a choice whether you remain there or not. Because last time was here, unakumbuka, I used to meet some people huko Bungoma kama tunaenda mshahara, tuliendanga na kajerikani ya kubeba mafuta 5 turudi Mamtelgo. Now, saa hii mimi naweza kubebana hiyo. These are good things. But the choice was mine. The choice was mine. Na mimi, wewe umezungumzia scholarship. Thank God for the scholarship, and it's because of your sharp head. Mimi, I did not get my scholarships through external vile wewe umepata. I got my scholarships from my head here. In other words, I paid for my studies. I paid. Even master's degree, I paid. I used to supply furniture in Transoya schools. Hii furniture ya secondary school. Sione hivyo, I have my welding machine. Saa hizi iko hapo, iko mahali na pumzika kidogo na I'm making a warm up. I paid for my PhD. I paid for my masters from my pocket. I also paid for our girl. She had joined Moy High School, Kabarak, which was a high cost school. And nikamlipia. She also studied in Strathmore. Akamaliza. So Strathmore hiyo, even my daughter is there. Not my daughter, our daughter. I contributed 50% of the shares. Then contributed 50%. So our daughter is also now doing master's degree securities. Hapo kwa hiyo area hapo nafanya hiyo vitu ya MSc securities. Ukisikia wakiongea vizuri huko kidogo muangalie pia. Ukisikia wanasema labda graduate assistant ama kitu gani, muangalie amalize vizuri. Unaweza ongea kitu na akapata kitu. Na wewe nimekuongelesha kitu nikakuwekea hapo kofia naona unaendelea. So now we the whole several times we sino ligwe neyo lao kidogo ubita na kunyona na bundu bisilia ho no nyara kuloma favorably about mwana ula ne babora securities kwe nyamu Strathmore ko hala harambu. Now I'm about to finish. You know, we were just to share testimonies. Kama mtu alikuwa anafikiria ati watu they have prepared very powerful speeches. What kind of powerful? Hizo tunaprepareanga tukiwa kwa kama conference. Hii si kongamano. Hii ni nyumbani. Lakini tukienda kwa kongamano tunaenda huko even dressing. Even dressing. Professor has tried. He has tried. Nakaa hivyo. Yes. And then we do heavy papers. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we were told by the English people, Rengo and herself, that not protocol, which protocol? So ladies and gentlemen, allow me, and thank you for Asimiti, sometimes invites us. Mara kundoma kulduia mu radio hiyo, kamera homo, and katamlembe FM kundoma homo. Now, it is my humble honor, nere Professor uno niyo watie iberiwe fwe akubonde kamangana akayarora ndakaye nyamurore embumbe professor karibu karibu
the organizers, the parents, the teachers, and the students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, I tend to like talking the way these people have talked, my colleagues have talked. I would like to talk to the learners through my experience. Now, when you look at me, you youngsters, do you see any horns on my head? No one attended my popote. Ni nywele tu kama yeye. Tofauti ya nywele yangu it has turned gray. Ndio sababu kuna tofauti kidogo, lakini mimi ni kama nini, binadamu tu kama nini, hakuna tofauti. So to be told professor, you might think there's something wrong about this professor, something unique about it. No, he's just human, like you. And this professor believes one thing. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a teacher. After I finished my first degree, I taught at a school called Bay Girls High School. Niko Vihiga. Nilifundisha huko miaka miwili. Nikatoka huko nikaenda nikafundisha St. Paul's Amkura. Nilikusia. I'm a teacher of English and history. Sasa mimi nilijifunza kupiga story. Sinatumia lugha. Kupiga story. Na history ni story, sio? So I'm not very different from you. I'm a teacher by profession. Lakini kufika huko nilianzia class 1. Wakati nilikuwa nimetosha kuenda shule, hatukuwa na nursery. So I had to go straight to class 1. And that was 1955. I was 4 years old. I went to class 1. I was 84 because my father was a teacher. Yeye pia alikuwa mkali. Wengine walimu wa zamani walikuwa wakali sana. Kulikuwa na mtihani ulikuwa unaitwa CEE, Common Entrance Examination, in class 4. It was a national exam. Nilifanya hiyo mtihani 1959. Sasa kama umeingia class 1 1955, ukikuwa 1955, 56, 57, 58, hiyo ni miaka 4 imeisha. Na unafanya mtihani class 4 1959. Hiyo ni miaka ngapi? 8. Imechukua miaka 5 kumaliza miaka 4. Yeye anasema ni I was not the S student. Isn't it? Nilifanya CEE 1959 na nikaenda class 5, standard 5 in 1961. Does it make sense? You have done standard 4 in 1959 and you are supposed to go to standard 5. Then you arrive in standard 5 in 1961. What does that say? It means you did not pass the CEE in 1959. You passed it in 1960. It means you repeated, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yet you repeated another class before you go to standard 4. Then I did KPE in standard 8 in 1965. You have gone to standard 5 in 1961. So you have 61, 62, 63, 64. Those are 4 years. Standard 5, standard 6, standard 7, standard 8. It should be 4 years, isn't it? But you are doing KPE, which is done in standard 8 in 1965. It means you repeated again classes. Yeah. Then I went to Form 1 in 1967. I did KPE in 1965. But I went to Form 1 in 1967. What does that mean? Youngsters, what does that mean? I repeated. Now, after repeating and going to Form 1, I now did not repeat. Then, when I finished and started teaching, I met a young girl. This was a girls' school. This girl was in Form 2. in 1976. She was like not in the same class with the others. She was in her own class. All the others were in Form 2, but she was not in Form 2. She was far beyond Form 2. So even the others did not want to sit with her in the same desk. And one time, as a staff, we met, discussed possibilities of sending her home, suspending her, until one of us, being myself, asked, how many first divisions has this school had since it was started? None. She was the first, sure first division. But we were about to send her home because she could not cope with the others. No one wanted to sit on the desk where she was sitting. And you go to class to teach English, and you find her doing mathematics. Then the mathematics teacher goes to the same class to teach mathematics, and finds her reading geography. And she was just not in the class with the others. So we were about to send her home. Then I asked, do we want to do away with the first division that the school hopes to get? And the answer was no. So we started struggling with this girl. When she got to Form 3, we enrolled her, registered her for O-level. And she got first division with 8 points.
Wow.
That showed me that I had not learned enough. I needed to learn more. So I went back to school. I decided to go back to school. I had a scholarship, government scholarship, to do my bachelor's degree. But now I want to go back to school, and the chance I had at the University of Nairobi to do masters, I had declined. So now I could not have it. I looked at myself and said, I didn't have a dependent. I was my only dependent. I was single, I was not married, so I didn't have a dependent. I was my only dependent, and I had a job with the Teacher Service Commission. I could afford to take risks. I took a risk. Left the country to the State University of New York at Buffalo in the United States with fees enough for one semester. I went to do a 2-year degree program. But I went because I took a chance. When I finished my degree, I owed the university some money, and I wanted to come back and go back to TSC to start teaching again so that I can pay to get my certificate. And one professor looked at me and said, we are not letting you go. The state of New York paid my fees. In addition, they paid me some money as a stipend to live on so that I don't come back. And here I am. So, Reverend Otuya, when I did what I did, it was from my experience. Someone saw something in me that I didn't see myself. So when I met you at Moose, when I arrived, it was Meuko, we were starting, and I saw you, and I knew where you came from. I thought you are destined for greater things.
Wow.
That is why I was not going to give you marks. Because your area is not my area. You had to work for it. The only thing I was to do was to give you a chance to do and become what you can possibly become. So you studied and you proved me right. Now he's my colleague. He's a professor in the same university.
Wow.
Because I saw what he was capable of doing. That I had learned when I was doing my master's because of this girl who we almost sent away from school. And as I was learning, I came to one realization. Hakuna binadamu ambaye hawezi kusoma. There is no human being who is incapable of learning. It is only that those of us who teach sometimes fail to find the pupil where they are, so that we can get them from where they are to where we would like them to be. So if you get a C minus, you get a D plus, you get a D, you get an E. Is it because you didn't have anything at all? No. It just means you had less than what the examiner was expecting. It does not mean that you can never get it if you want to. Given a chance, you can make it. Concentrate on it, you'll get it. Don't give up. Always, the driving force should be never to give up. There's no this person, this professor I learned from was someone, those who are in education, they know about someone called B.F. Skinner. Benjamin Frederick Skinner. Alichukua panya. Unajua panya? Yes. Akaweka kwa wire mesh. Akazifundisha kucheza ngoma. Taught them how to dance to different dance styles. And the rats danced when he played the music. If a rat can dance, can learn. Can a human being be unable to learn? So youngsters, don't give up. It might just be that you have not reached the level. Try and find it. Find your level and start from there. I had the opportunity to have a father who, whenever I did an exam, he didn't wait for the results. Before the results, I was back in the class repeating. So when the results came, if I had not passed that exam, I was already in school repeating, so it made no difference. But if I had passed, he would come and take me from there to take me to where I was supposed to be. Is it the trick my brother played? Yes. And he gave me all the chances to be in school. And all the chances to excel. He always told me that I was not stupid. Even when he was caning me for making mistakes, he would cane me and still say, "You are not stupid, you are not a fool." He died a very happy man because he told me he was happy. When I brought back the certificates from the US and showed him, he said, "You see, I told you." and he slaughtered a bull for the family to celebrate. What I'm trying to tell the youngsters, someone said here, it is possible. Never give up. Find your best. Some of us go around saying, I'm working very hard. What do we understand by working hard? What does it mean when you say, I'm working hard? I'm not saying don't work hard. This is how you work hard. Don't try to work hard. Again. The teacher will explain that thing several times, you will begin to understand it. And you know, the moment you start understanding what the teacher is saying, you'll begin to understand even more. Because learning feeds on itself. The more you learn, the more you want to learn, and therefore the more you learn. Don't give up. Don't resign yourself to that D. Don't resign yourself to that E. Try to take steps so that you can overcome the problems that are leading you not to get the A. And if you do that consistently, you will find your performance begins to improve. And believe in yourself. Believe in one thing, you are a human being first. And no human being is incapable of learning. You start off on a point of not knowing, and you engage yourself in the process of learning by asking those who are your teachers. Ask them. Hata akikufukuza kwa stafu, rudi. Mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili, mara ya tatu, mara ya nne atasema, na huyu mtoto naye kuja hapo unataka nini? He has invited you back. Because the teacher will also know that you are not bothering him for nothing. They will know that the reason you are going there is because you want to learn, you want to know. And they will listen to you. By their training, they will listen to you. They will give you a chance. So don't give up. I don't think I want to say more. I want to stop there. I hope I've given some.
Tunapofika hapo, vijana wangu wa form 1, sijui kama umejua chenye kilikuja sasa mabano. Sitawauliza mkuje, lakini nadhani mnaweza kuwa umejua. I met Prof in 2004. I came to Most. I was thinking of taking a master's degree in molecular biology. But when I came there, you told me it was not there. You told me about that. What was there was conservation biology. So I left. We had a very short interaction of a minute or so. You didn't know me or just me because we did not have such a forum so we could know each other. I hope the children you are talking to, if they are to come to Most, they will know who they are talking to. If they are to go to Eldoret, they will know who they are talking to. If they were to go to Masinde Muliro, they will know who they will be talking to. It's just unfortunate that one of us from Masai Mara University did not arrive. But in the future, we are going to have opportunities for us to share with many of our scholars as possible for the sake of our children and our community. what disturbs me, and I need to say, Professor Kelas Leo from Moi University, University of Eldoret, was also to be here with us. He's an environmentalist, and he's unique also in his own area. Going forward, and Professor, I wanted this to be the largest forum to disturb you guys. I know you are busy, si kutaka nikiwaita kila kikao. But mwezi wa 8 tunakuanga na siku inaitwa awards. Community hatunanga pesa mingi, but hata mkikuja tu tuwavalishe tu maua, that to be our award to you people for what you are doing for us. Tuwavalishe tu maua na mwende, nadhani tutakuwa pia tunawarecognize. It is not very easy to have people like you in a community. It's not very easy. Well, as we come to this point, maybe if I can just give you a short background. I started my, okay, there were 2 years I've talked, just to let me and sneak in. She's our eldest sister. Then he followed. Then your classmate, then the others, then I cross. So ours was a multi-party family. We are many. I started teaching at Namiri where she was the principal. Later I moved to Kibabi Diploma, where there was a lady called Jessica, a classmate of us at Sumbi. Then after Jessica retired, Mwalimu took over. When Mwalimu took over, he has given me so many opportunities. I also operate at a national level. I am a member of a PCI committee or panel at KICD. PCI is pertinent and contemporary issues. What we are discussing is pertinent and contemporary issues. While at Kibabi, we receive students from the university coming to do diploma. From university, wanakuja kufanya diploma. While at Kibabi, I was teaching at the university. In the university, you receive students from TVET coming to the university. I have a story of a student who went to a TVET. In the process, he got a scholarship, went to a university. The scholarship could not be sustained. He came back to TVET. He was disturbed by mathematics, as one of the parents said here, so he could not complete the course. He changed the course to nursing. This is money. You are equal scholarship, mzazi akanalipa. But TVET, uache, after some years, you go to university, uache, urudi, uende uanze course number 3, a parent is paying. It drains the parent. It drains the parent, and emotionally it drains the child. Ndio tukasema kunaweza kuwa na forum ya kuongeleshana ili wakati watoto wanapochagua courses wajue ni nini wako wanachagua. Isiwe kuchagua tu bila kuchagua kujua ni nini inaendelea. What we are doing as a history. I made it here. Nikiwa Kibabi, akiwa director kule Nairobi. There are some other things which we do with him, which we may mention another time. But I came to learn that he's a very good man. So, he is our chair. I am the organizing secretary. Karo, your sister, is our treasurer. Wanyama, the medic, is our secretary. Mwalimu here is our vice chair. Then there is PK, the honors and the rasters. Is also a member of this committee. Then we have a teacher from Mahanga, and I told Madam Lydia Sifuna. She wants to be here, but she has been held up by other committees. A very innocent committee. We tried to pull on somebody from KMTC, tukapata mtoto wa uniform hapa anafunza, ni head of department Bungoma, MTC. He advises us on medical courses. He has a story to tell. Watoto wazazi wenye mnataka watoto waende MTC, wasiende tu, tuko na mtaalamu atawapatia njia ya kwenda. With the so many remarks, Bwana Chair, if you can just allow me call a man that these characters have been talking about, then I'll give you back the mic just to allow these other members to talk, then we finally close. I want to invite a one man, self-made man, the man that has been talked about here. And the man I'm talking about is no other than Kitui. Kitui. Ya kwanga lungu sababu ya kirembe ya pia kumbo.
Mbo.
Ya mbo mos.
Mbo.
Muriel.
Wala.
Nada. Omanyi bakonga ne baloma bama. Dawira mu musai. Abali dino loma kwena. Lilio. Lukali Zakariota. Niwambia Lukali. I hope if I speak Bukusu, all of you will hear. Yes. Akona mtu asikii?
Yes.
Mulila?
Kuna mmoja hapo.
Mwanza walilangaka. Mundu pesa lisingina Mungu wale.
Utaniambia. Haya, sawa.
Nilili kwa nilio Professor Kaharo. Professor Faka ni 2013. Naba nikiliki njane yanga huko la cultural show. Webuye maana aja kwa khala naye wala kukolele mu kemera nange kamba siye webuye khala naye kidogo kwa manya na wewe. Maana ngakole khala
Mchada hapo.
wala maku. Professor Faka na nasomea Kitale. Awali. Andase kule kumanyana. Umgoko wenu kwa kana nikahamala KTTC. Professor Faka na 1988. Kwa nini drive mswala mno? Ikana kwa kana he prayed for me to get saved in 1988.
Ile revival. Alimwambia au
Bye kwa hapa na nauta.
jaitana.
Oya wala. Oyino okwana wasani.
Yani
Hawa njira. Kumresa kule. Mwalimu. Wenene wanje manafunda kupodi ya bagwe.
Mnyima bodi ya kanisa. Mnyima nafasi.
Karibu. Nikumbanga kumanya. Nasi.
Natamani kutana jana moja.
This now Kitui in German and West Media. Metanga Mbo FM and the West TV. Kulanga between the heritage. Nenya kwa kulila liko ni Professor Alomeli. Wano Alomeli, lakini ni areleka au bikira liko ni sasa bikira ngo sine ndeko yako ngoro. All you need is to be given a chance. As an also mesanga, I didn't know it was a demotion.
Anasoma sango.
Nasoma mesanga. Angela Slender mwana mtu mutiri ni Miami lesanga 1978. Nasoma mesango na rayo class yeweni. Class yeweni ya 85. Nanyo walipoenda 43. Manchester raka. No. Huge Sango, they told us that, okay, I was one of the sponsored kids by ActionAid. Then, the score was very low. Also, they told us. So by the time we were going to high school, we were not able to pay.
Mariago Supro. Mariago
That was my diet. So, I was in Sirakaru High School for only 1 month. The month of February. We were joining at the end of January. So at the end of February, there was no school fees. So there was no way I could stay in school. I came back home. That was 1986. I stayed home the whole year. 1987, I tried various schools. I went to Rungai. Mr. Omocho was the head there.
He took me in and told me, you can read this time, ukimaliza next, ndio naenda niambie mtafanya nini, alipe. The same week he was transferred to Maliki. I followed him. So while there, I became so sick. My father came to pick me, and we didn't have cell phones. So the school was broken. I'm sleeping. So Omoja has to come from school, come and tell my dad, your son is sick. So my father has to borrow a bicycle. We didn't have it. To come and pick me, take me home and tell me, never should you go to school, because if you go to school, you'll be sick. And you'll die. There's long story short. 1988, I got saved through his ministry, thank God. 1989, nikajiunga na mjengo. Walikuwa wanajenga hiyo factory ya kahawa. The same contractor alikuwa anajenga Cabernet Town Hall. Tukapelekwa huko. So when I got there, I said, this is not my calling. There is something I need to do, but it's not this. I realized my uncle sells newspapers in Eldoret, so I skimmed on how to get there. Once I landed in Eldoret, I said, I'm home. He had the best library. He had the best books. He listened to BBC. That's how I learned to speak English. Listening to BBC. I watched movies just to learn English. I read novels. I read teaching books, scientific journals. I read them. I don't know what I'm reading, but I'm just reading them. I collected a lot of things in my head just to speak English. At some point, I was the best English speaker, that there was no trace of bukusu in it. Then my pastor in Norway told me, if I take you to America, you only take a week to become an American. But God did it differently. The chance God gave me through various people was not to take me to America, but to make me be an inspiration to you and very many other people. Presently, I'm an employee of West Media. The interview was very funny. Prof said he needed to show up. I was told there is a vernacular station coming up. I told him I don't like the word vernacular. It is too colonial. Try indigenous. They said, okay, go and see them. And when I met the guys, they told me, do the story. They told me the assignments to do, but then they told me bring the papers. I told them I don't have papers. But the guy said, do these assignments, forget about papers. So I did the assignments. The boss wanted a story. So everybody who was doing a story, Lucano who was doing Wambone and the Sela, Kamananichi, Munachi, doing all those things. You know what I did? I went and sat with elders. I asked them, how was a boy child brought up in them days? That's the assignment I did. When my boss read that, he said, this is the one I'm doing.
Wow.
Because I did something out of the ordinary. So when you are given a chance, Prof said work hard. Of late, you guys wanted to correct it by saying working smart. It's okay. But work hard by doing something out of the ordinary.
Relevant.
When you are in class, try to score that score. And don't just do it. Do it with pride. Surpass it. Because all you need is chance. I've been given chances. I've worked in many houses. I've worked with organizations. I was leading a hospital called Royal Gardens Hospital. At the Royal Clinics in Ngong Road, I was the GM. Royal Gardens Hospital Kakamega, I was the GM. When it came to Kitale, I'm the one who started it. You see, why? Because a chance. All you have to do is get a chance. If you get a chance, don't waste it. Remember, you have the chance. It's your job not to ruin that chance you have. Are we in agreement? When you get a chance, like I was given this microphone, it's a chance I was given. It's my job not to ruin it, but to be an inspiration to you. So whenever you are, kila mahali utakapo simama, katika fursa yeyote umepewa, tafadhali, usitulete down. Do something. When this organization started, I was there. I became a bit busy. Sikufuatilia. I never attended meetings, but I followed on social media. I contributed from one or two areas, but I followed it. When this day came, I said, I have to be there. reason why I came. And I want to tell you, Chairman, this is the reason why I came. Other jurisdictions have career day. They are always patronized by colleges, learning institutions, educational suppliers, and other leaders, other stakeholders in the education sector. I came here to breathe this in this organization. Even the August event has to be patronized by these institutions. We can work together because West Media is here. It's the biggest media house in Western Kenya. It can babysit this process to fruition.
It's true.
It's up to you. I've hosted my nephew on TV, on radio. I've hosted Prof on radio. Now I'm waiting to host all of you. I've been dodging. So thank you so much. I want to encourage you. My story is that all you need is a chance. Once you get a chance, it's your job not to ruin it.
For those people who have been following us, I think you saw that we were saying that this is going to be the last event of this nature. The next event will be the colleges. Kibabi University will be here. But when I saw the community, the professors, when the 5 of you said yes, I thought if we brought here the university, it could be misplaced. So I stopped them. They agreed to come under Dr. Robert. Ile ya August, na mikutano yenye itakuja baadaye. Si mmesikia wamesema mipangilio ilikuwa sasa tunaanza kuleta decisions on board. With you, profs, do I need to come and ask how it will be done? So you'll just tell me what to do, I write a letter. Then in August at Lungai, our next meeting, the awards is going to be in Lungai. We shall see the tents now. I will see your tent from Must. I will see the tent from University of Eldoret. I'm going to see the tent from Masai Mara. It's too far. I don't know if they will come, but what are we saying? Can you help us mobilize so that we now have the real people come on the ground and show our children the courses? Number 2, hii imetoka aje? But we have somebody of Kasneb who is already willing. Kasneb will be there in our August meeting. Yeah, Ameshabu, Kibabi University is already there. I know Bungoma KMTC will be there because we have a member on this committee who is a senior person there. Just to help us get the universities. If we can get 10 of them at Lungai, alafu tupate kusi skuka. You don't let a kusikia ikuwe hapo. Watu waambiwe maneno na watu wenye wanafanya maneno. So that we don't mess people.
Don't forget
TVETs, yeah, TVETs. What are TVETs?
Kisiwa is the only giving pharmacy, this region.
Giving?
Pharmacy.
Mmesikia kuna pharmacy course at Kisiwa Technic. Waambie tu so that I don't give wrong information.
Kisiwa is pharmacy at the moment. Kitale National Polytechnic is one of the 2 institutions in Kenya giving RPL certificates.
Which is what?
Recognition
of learning. Like me now, I didn't go to high school, but I can go through them and get a degree, something like that. And Sikaragala is up there in terms of agricultural engineering. Ours here in NAITIRI is a center of excellence in agricultural engineering.
Yeah.
You are here, right? Yeah. And then we have Bumbe in Busia is the center of excellence in dual training. So this integrated institutions have something of interest. So I think we should work together to get them here to come and display their services.